And no one, I mean no one, is paying to see Angel Reese attempt to play basketball. Hell, not even Mama Reese is paying to watch this lack of skill.
The numbers don't lie. When Caitlin Clark injured her left quad on May 25, 2025, the impact was immediate and significant across the WNBA. As she prepares to miss at least 2 weeks, her absence highlights just how much she stands out in the league. It's become clear that her star power is unmatched, leaving players like Angel Reese and the struggling Chicago Sky facing the reality that one player's popularity can shape the league's entire image and economy.
You can't tell me that the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. You knew when news broke yesterday that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for a few weeks, that ticket prices were going to go down, but I never expected them to go down 71% for the rivalry game.
As soon as news of Clark's injury broke, the WNBA's rising economic momentum collapsed. Ticket prices for Indiana Fever games dropped by 42%, falling from an average of $137 to just $80 overnight. This wasn't a slow decline, it was a clear message from fans: without Clark, the product isn't worth the same.
Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement. An average ticket price of $137 all the way down to $80. People are selling their tickets, definitely can't get face value, so what do? They just continue to lower and lower and lower and lower and lower the price.
The Chicago Sky had moved their June 7th game against the Fever from the 10,387-seat Wintrust Arena to the 21,000-seat United Center, expecting big crowds because of Clark. But once her injury was announced, ticket prices crashed from $86 to just $25. For a team that spent money moving to a bigger venue, the financial loss was immediate and severe.
The Sky relocated the game to the United Center, the home of the Chicago Bulls and the largest arena in the NBA, expecting a marquee matchup between Clark and Sky forward Angel Reese. Now here's where it gets sweet. All right, it gets real interesting right here. However, uncertainty looms as ticket prices for the game have plummeted dramatically following Clark's injury announcement. Oh my goodness. Since it became likely she will miss the June 7th game, ticket prices have dropped a staggering 71%. Oh my goodness. Following from an entry price of $86 to just $25 according to TickPick.
This economic fallout shows a truth many in the WNBA have avoided. The league's success isn't shared equally among players. While stars like Angel Reese get attention, the data shows Caitlin Clark is in a league of her own. TV ratings back this up. According to Fox Sports, games featuring Clark and the Fever averaged 1.178 million viewers, nearly 3 times higher than the WNBA average of 394,000. This isn't a small difference. It's a complete shift in how fans engage with women's basketball.
These WNBA franchises that moved games like the Chicago Sky to the United Arena, you're screwed. You're done. You're cooked. Nobody is going to show up to this thing. Chicago Sky can't sell out their own 9,000 something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent. They're a dumpster fire now. And now that Caitlin Clark is injured, the ticket prices for the Fever and Sky game just plummeted to Hades.
If you're enjoying this, subscribe. The May 17th, 2025 game between the Fever and Sky proved Clark's impact. It drew 2.7 million viewers, the most for a WNBA regular season game in 25 years, and peaked at 3.1 million. Clark brought in casual fans who usually don't watch women's basketball. Out of 24 WNBA broadcasts with over 1 million viewers in 2024, 21 featured Clark, nearly 90%. The only 3 games to draw over 20,000 in attendance all involved the Fever, confirming Clark as the league's main attraction.
We know that wherever she goes, she's selling out arenas. The ticket prices skyrocket. Like, even trying to get tickets to cover Hawkeye Arena when they played the Brazilian national team at her old school was just insane prices. If she's going on the road, wherever she's going, ticket sales jumped by 140%. Average is $312. Like, that's crazy.
Wherever Clark goes, tickets sell out. Prices skyrocket. Getting into Carver Hawkeye Arena when Iowa played Brazil was nearly impossible. On the road, her games saw ticket sales jump 140%, with average prices hitting $312. Meanwhile, the broader WNBA is struggling with her absence. No team feels this more than the winless Chicago Sky, 0-4. Once seen as Clark's rival team, they now struggle for attention. Angel Reese, long positioned as her top rival, faces the challenge of staying relevant as fan interest fades. Sky game tickets now sell for as low as $17 at Wintrust Arena, reflecting the market's honest view of the team without a major draw.
The WNBA will be reliant on their other stars to maintain the interest of the mainstream. With Angel Reese being the only player with mainstream name recognition, most of the pressure, it is going to be on her to perform. And we have plenty of evidence that proves Angel Reese is not qualified to carry the league.
The Sky's problems go beyond their 0-4 record. Without Clark to boost interest, they must rely on their actual gameplay, and so far, it hasn't been enough. One economic study found Clark was responsible for 26.5% of the WNBA's total economic activity during her rookie season. Projections for 2025 suggest she could generate $875 million for the league, possibly passing $1 billion. These aren't guesses, they're based on real spikes in attendance, merchandise, TV revenue, and spending in cities where the Fever play.
Caitlin Clark could be projected to be $1 billion revenue maker for the WNBA this year. Now, obviously, the WNBA won't see that money, won't see most of that money, and it's not just in the WNBA, but it's all of her sponsorships, it's all of her appearances, it's all that stuff. But according to the projections, we're looking at $875 million could easily eclipse $1 billion on her economic impact. Caitlin Clark entering the league last year was responsible for 26.5% of all of their economic activity. So revenue from merchandise, which again, with the CBA as it is currently, she doesn't see a dime of any of that. TV, and then ticket sales, obviously, which again, they don't get anything from that.
The instant drop in ticket prices after Clark's injury proves her value is real and measurable. The WNBA has built much of its current success on her popularity, which brings both big rewards and serious risks. Clark has driven merchandise sales up 500% across the league. Dick's Sporting Goods reported a 233% jump in WNBA-related sales from 2023 to 2024, thanks mostly to Clark. These aren't temporary boosts, they show real changes in how people spend money on women's basketball.
People might be saying, oh, well, the teams aren't really going to suffer. They already sold the tickets. No. You don't understand. If the Chicago Sky moved into the United Center, and let's say resale-wise, they sold all 19,000, well, when only 9,000 to 10,000 show up, they're losing merchandise sales, they're losing food sales, they're losing beverage sales, they're losing big. They took a big gamble to get into that arena, and they're losing big because it's not going to be full, and those people aren't going to be buying things there.
Clark's injury is a wake-up call for the WNBA. It reveals how much the league depends on one player, and that should concern league officials and team owners. While relying on a superstar isn't unusual in sports, the WNBA's case is risky. Clark is still early in her career and already dealing with injuries. After Clark was eliminated from the 2024 playoffs, TV ratings dropped sharply, even though other top teams and players were still competing. For example, the semi-final between the Aces and Liberty drew 929,000 viewers, down from the 1.8 million who watched Clark's playoff debut. This shows the league hasn't yet built up enough other stars to keep interest high without her.
The ticket prices. This does not shock me at all. What did I say earlier? The WNBA was about to F around and find out, and these rival teams were going to be in a lot of trouble. Well, they're finding out. Kathy Engelbert, WNBA, you better start putting some respect on Fever fans' names, Caitlin Clark's name. Otherwise, this league, we got to remember, they lost $40 million still last year. All right? They're getting a new media rights deal. That thing won't be worth shit if Caitlin Clark was to either get really injured and couldn't play or decided to just say, I'm not going to play here anymore. I'm going overseas.